Regina has 7 fully accessible playgrounds and 11 that have accessible elements, but one city councilor would like to see a new standard of accessibility moving forward. A motion on playgrounds is on the agenda at today's city council. One of the delegates who will speak on the topic is from the Regina nonprofit First Steps Wellness Center. The organization specializes in rehabilitation for people with neurological disabilities. Andrew Schmidt is the director of community there. He says accessible playgrounds could have a huge impact in the lives of people he sees at First Steps Wellness. To share more, Andrew joins us now. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
So, Andrew, why did you decide to share your perspective with the city council?
Well, we know a little bit about the story that's going on, and I'd never done anything like this before, and figured we had an interesting perspective, being around for 15 years, our little organization. And as well as there's a lot of other factors that go into having things accessible rather than just the individuals that obviously would benefit from it, such as the kids. But we just thought there's some unique perspectives that we can share.
And what are those perspectives?
One of them would be that it's not just the kids that would have disabilities, but also parents. So parents might have maybe a mom has cerebral palsy and would like to go to the playground with her kids, but she's in a wheelchair or a power chair and can't actually get near the structure to either offer an encouraging word to her kids or provide comfort if they're a little scared on a steep slide or something like that. Or grandparents even that have mobility challenges that, again, can't get near the structure. So then they're forced to watch maybe 50 or 100 feet away.
How do we know if a playground is accessible by looking at it?
Yeah, that is a challenging one. There are many levels of accessibility. I would say you want flat, hard surfaces, ramps that are not too steep. But the challenge is there's no really one size fits all. But there are always, I would say, better choices, wider structures instead of tight or sharp turns. A wheelchair or power chair couldn't quite make a tight turn up on a playground. And then for structures, it's just they need to be solid and not, not displacing feet or wheels where they would get stuck in them, let's say.
I understand you have a personal connection to this issue as well. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Yeah. So I'd started working at First Steps Wellness Center September of 2010. And within the first year of me working there, my parents were actually in a motorcycle accident and left my mom with a brain injury herself. So I was like, oh, well, I guess not only am I doing this professionally, but it also has become personal as well. They're in a smaller town than Regina, and we would only go to one of the structures that has flat surfaces. So my mom can go and visit with her grandkids or, poke them with her walker cane that she has. But we'd have to choose that one over another playground that might have gravel or, synthetic or real wood chips, as they're just too unstable for her to walk on.
So this is something that's affected your life, and it's something you do also professionally. What are some of the challenges you see people dealing with? Is it frustration? Is it the lack of personal connection because they can't spend that time with their loved one, or if in a kid situation, not get to play on a playground?
Yeah, I'd say I haven't had kids that long, so it hasn't been too personal. But the professional side of it is what we would see is if there's so many barriers to forms of physical activity, whether it's outdoors in a playground, indoors, or recreationally, you name it. Sometimes the choice is made just to not do it. So rather than struggle with it, it's like it might not even be worth it. Parking might be awful, so why would I even try if there's no parking? That's a massive one. But imagine if you take the time to get there. It might take you longer to get going in the morning and get to said structure, and you get there and it doesn't work. Well, who knows how long of a day that would waste, maybe a couple hours, and only to be disappointed when you get there. So you just might find a lack of participation rather than even attempting to do it, because it's like, well, the last time I went, it didn't work. So why would I go again?
What are you hoping to convey to city council?
Honestly, I've been in this situation for so long now. I wouldn't, not situation, this is all I've spent for my professional life. And when you start with accessibility in mind, it actually works for everybody. A lot of them are quite easier, right? When you have wider hallways, more people can fit down them, as well as it is accessible. When you have low grade ramps that aren't too steep, people in wheelchairs and power chairs can get up them easily. But it's also easier for, say, elderly people or maybe individuals that have balance issues. So flat surfaces are kind of the same as well. It's not just always the people that are right up in your face, where it's like, oh yeah, my loved one is in a wheelchair, they need this. It's like, well, yeah, but my loved one has vestibular or balance issues that they don't do too well on uneven surfaces.
When it comes to the people that you are working with your organization, how have you seen accessibility help in their recovery and in their health?
Yeah, we've been doing some cool stuff with the city of Regina over the last number of years, and as well with the University of Regina, trying to make just like multiple avenues more accessible, right? Our organization started out of a need and then has kind of blossomed to where we service a wide range of individuals. And we thought, like, why don't we also use our expertise and our influence to partner with other groups instead of just trying to do it all ourselves? Or, we know what it's like if the city's trying to do an initiative, but we'll get behind you and say, hey, we maybe have some advice we can offer, an experience. We also have a Rolodex of individuals that are trying to be healthy, trying to exercise, trying to rehabilitate from their injuries. And here's a few numbers that we think would be great for that. Or we've had individuals come to the facility and talk to our clients right there and get real world feedback. We have such a wide variety of young children, teenage children, all the way up to, actually we have people in their 80s still attending our facility, trying to improve their mobility and their function.
Andrew, thanks for this. Thanks for getting us up to speed on what's happening and your delegation at council today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for your time.